I think we're getting somewhere close to having covered all the important things about Unreal's 2D, but there's one thing that I've skipped over, and that is the fact that much like static meshes or skeletal meshes can have sockets that you can parent things to, so can sprites. Yes, indeed, they can. So let's take a look at the player sprites here. And let's just go into one of them and we can add a socket. And let's call this socket head, so that we can put things onto his head. We can very much just move this around to be on the top of his head. Now we need to do this for every single one of his frames, which can be a little bit annoying, but luckily we can do this with the property matrix as well. So we can just take all of these, asset actions, property matrix, and we can add a socket to all of these called head. So now all of these have the socket named head, which we do need to one by one actually put into place everywhere. So that is slightly annoying. Let's go to player 3. You might notice that if you just use the sprite list here, that doesn't immediately update with having the socket. So you do need to open them up from your content browser and then they'll have them. If you just restart your engine, that also should make it able to be edited from there. But I'm not going to do that because that takes time and I don't want to do that. Now, it doesn't work as smoothly as just adding something as a child here and sending it to this socket. So what you do instead is, like on begin play, what we can do is we can add a paper sprite component through our begin play, and we will attach that component to another component. And there we can give in the socket name for head and make sure that it has the proper capitalization. Did I do it with a capital H or not? I did. It's good. And then the parent will just be like our sprite. And we can set the sprite as well. And the new sprite that we'll be adding will be, let's do this dummy sprite. I don't know how big it'll be. Might be huge, might be very small. I guess we'll see. So now you can see when I have that head socket, it is tied to my head. But when I am in an animation that doesn't have it, it just goes to 0, 0, 0. And that is just because those sprites don't have that socket yet. But with that, especially if you're using like a little bit of depth, if you like offset it by 1 pixel, you can maybe make a customized like clothing system for your 2D characters, or like even show the proper armor that they're wearing in your game if you're making like a 2D RPG or whatever. Because sockets are very much a thing that you can use on your 2D characters. Once again, the project files for the entire course, every individual episode, as well as this finished project, will be up on both Patreon and for YouTube members to download if you want to get your hands on the project files. There's also links down below in the description for free to these assets that I've been using because I didn't make these. These are just assets from the internet that I found on Open Game Art. So go show some love to the people who made the actual assets that I've been using as well. And a very big thank you to all my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help support the channel or get any of the project files in any of my tutorials, there's a link down below to the Patreon page to support me, or alternatively as a YouTube member. And of course, an extra massive thank you to my Cave Digger tier supporters, Sir J. Thomas, and my Cave Student tier supporters, Oiku,